Hi, this is Sam from the Adara Academy, and welcome to a daily update. I am very surprised at what happened over the weekend. There was some big bullish macroeconomic news in that Xi Jinping, the leader of the Chinese Communist Party, essentially came out and said blockchain is going to be at one of the forefront of the Chinese pushes for technological growth. Now, what that actually means, I think people have a mixed idea about. But the first jump to the gun conclusions were that, hey, this is good for Bitcoin, that, Bitcoin is blockchain, so let's endorse what Xi Jinping has said. But at the same time, I don't actually think that it means what he is saying. I think it's much more muted, and that the idea of Bitcoin and a Chinese blockchain coexisting doesn't really have any legs to run on. China's built their currency into a two-system structure. You have the offshore yuan and then the onshore renminbi. And this allows the People's Bank of China to consistently devalue the onshore currency so that they can provide social programs for people in the country. And then at the same time, they can keep the yuan strong in the offshore markets, limiting the control that foreign governments and foreign institutions can have on the Chinese currency. It's really a manipulative system, and this is one of the reasons that both Europe and the United States has been having difficulties and going through a trade war at the moment with China. They believe that the People's Bank of China is using the two currency system to gain an unfair advantage against American and European producers. Now, I know this is a much deeper topic to get into. There's a lot of good books to read and a lot of economic papers that you can dive into on this specific subject, but I want to stick to Bitcoin today. And if you look at what China's done, they've created a currency system which allows for repression, both inside the country and then outside the country. And this system allows for massive surveillance of their own population and control of the currency outside of the country. They can ensure that people are using the onshore renminbi in the certain ways that they should. And they can also ensure that they have total control over their offshore currency, one thing that the United States does not have. The United States is weakened by the existence of the Eurodollar system outside of the control of the United States Federal Reserve. The lack of the Fed to control the Eurodollar system is exactly what the Chinese government is trying to create with their digital renminbi. They want to create a digital currency that is propagated throughout their commercial banks and then given out to other financial institutions around the world, that they can have a much closer watch over and much more control over. Now, if you think that this somehow can coexist with the ethos of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, I would personally say that I think that you're wrong. The Chinese Communist Party exists to ensure that it stays in power. And a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin is the antithesis to any power control by the Chinese Communist Party. They need that two-currency system to be able to provide for massive social programs inside the country while controlling their foreign currency. This is probably amounts to manipulation, as the United States and Europe says, but both countries accept it because they're the primary trading partners and they want access to the country. I think it's ridiculous and disgusting to think that somehow the Chinese Communist Party is going to match the ethos of what blockchain is, and that by them promoting blockchain it's going to mean Bitcoin, because I don't think it means it at all. Yeah, so Larry actually made some good comments. So he said, seeing how many people praise China for their entrepreneurial spirit might be the new low for crypto Twitter. This is coming at a time when the government is openly repressing Hong Kong and imprisoning innocent people in re-education camps. China is an oppressive regime interested in control. Don't forget that China was the first country that blanketly banned ICOs and forced all fiat to cryptocurrency exchanges to leave the country. China is not interested in public blockchains. It's interested in a private database that seems open, but where it retains total control. I'm frankly disgusted by this. The cryptocurrency spirit is all about monetary freedom and censorship resistance. The Chinese government stands for the polar opposite. Just because it pumped some garbage coins doesn't mean that this should be perceived as positive. And Jonathan Cho, who I really like as well too, provided some great comments. So he said, there is no cryptocurrency spirit aside from hoping to get rich while doing nothing. It's a total facade of self-serving revolt for Lambos. This shouldn't be a surprise. A cryptocurrency can't change human nature. And I'll go through to the other one. So he said, Bitcoiners love China now after their NBA moral outrage. I pointed out it was dime store courage that castigated the NBA, unaware that serious unemployment issues were involved. BTCers paid no cost for supporting Hong Kong publicly. Now they think they can profit off China's silence. And they hide under facades of integrity. And there's more that goes in here. But I think he makes a point in that for all the people who were angry at China the other day coming out and all of a sudden saying, thank you for pumping my bags, it's disingenuous, and Larry's right, it is disgusting. You cannot support something like Bitcoin, which is for free expression, free movement of value, mutability, and then be happy when China is rolling out a system that will be used for financial repression. I think it's incredibly, incredibly short-sighted. I don't understand it. It just doesn't. It does not gel with me, and it's something that I've been thinking about all weekend. And sure, the price went up, but it doesn't mean that the macro news or supposed bullish macro news is actually bullish for the price. It may be even worse, right? Because what happens if China starts being more repressive to the miners? I'm sure they know where they are. I'm sure they have a detailed list of where all the mining is taking place in the country. It must be easy to find, just to find out where all the cheap power is. They could nationalize that in a day. They could shut it down if they wanted to, but they don't. Probably because there are high-level people within the Chinese government who are taking a cut. They get what they deserve out of it. They think they deserve. They get what they want out of it, which is a portion of profits. Gets to get hidden away outside of the country, not reported on any tax sheets or able to be found by anyone. And they get away scot-free by allowing the mining to take place, but not allowing any trade to take place within the country. It's completely very strange. It's a very strange situation. So, sure, Bitcoin pumped over the weekend, but it doesn't mean anything because the underlying causes of it are not based on the same values that Bitcoin is based on. And it's extremely, extremely short-sighted if you think this is bullish for Bitcoin in the long term. I mean, yes, this is a political issue, right? Because at the heart of Bitcoin is politics. It's what kind of money do you believe in, right? And Bitcoin in itself is a pure expression of anarcho-capitalism and a source of money which cannot be changed. It can be forked, obviously, but cannot be changed. It has a hard cap. It is pseudo-anonymous, and it allows for greater freedoms and not greater financial repression. So think of these things when you look at what Chinese government is doing. Put it in the back of your mind of why would the Chinese government want to develop a cryptocurrency like this, and focus on the values at the heart of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies which make it so powerful, and don't support anything which detracts from it. This is less about price today and more about politics, and I think it's important that you understand the politics of what you buy, of what you support, because when you buy Bitcoin, you're supporting the system. And if you're going to support the system, you need to understand the politics underneath of why all of this crypto has been created. It's not to pump your bags. It's to provide a alternative to the current monetary systems, which people believe are financially repressive. And if you support that, then you buy and hold. You transact in it. You build on the network. But holding both positions of supporting the Chinese government for pumping your bags at the same time of believing in Bitcoin, I think is completely antithetical and immoral as well too, but it's my position. I would like to know if you think that I'm wrong. Please leave some comments below, and that's going to wrap it for today. I'm Sam. Have a good one.